Tell us about this company that you work for.
Well, Utah Valley Dental Lab has been around for 50 years, 1962, established here in Provo, Utah. And we've gone through a lot of people, and we're excited to be a lifetime qualified Crown Council member and be a big supporter of the Crown Council. We've been active for over 10 years.
What, in the last 50 years, what has defined this company? I mean, what makes you guys special?
Well, a lot of it is relationships. We feel strongly about relationships, and we try to encourage our technicians to develop those relationships with our dentists. That's a lot of what sets us apart. There's a lot of laboratories that don't let dentists have relationships with the people making their teeth, and we think that's something that's important to us, and it allows us, even though we're a 50-person laboratory, allows us to have a really small feel. That direct communication and interaction with the people who are doing the work allows for a strong level of collaboration and ultimately results in a better, more consistent product.
So we got dentists listening to this.
Sure.
And if we were going to say to them, if you want to have a lab as a great partner, how is that best? How would you best do that if I'm a dentist?
Well, obviously,
what would endear me to you?
Sure. Well, communication is obviously the key word, but we use that term so broadly and liberally, and we talk about communication, but we really need to drill down to what exactly that means. Is it there's accessibility, the ability of our technicians to get a hold of the dentist, whether it be through email, through exchange of photography and different things like that, that allow us to communicate and get on the same page in capturing the vision of what we're trying to do. I would say accessibility and willingness to do what is necessary to get it done right rather than just done. There's a lot of attitudes out there where a dentist will easily say, just make it work, or they don't want to get patients back in. I mean, there's a lot of dental offices that have an adversarial relationship with their laboratory, and we're aware of that, and we know that a lot of times when they see our name on the caller ID, everybody bristles a little bit and thinking, oh, are they delivering bad news? And there's a lot of and team members will look at it and say, oh no, the lab's calling, that means I've got to call a patient, I've got to say we got to get a new impression, or we need to reprep or do whatever. So we always do our best to have as many good news conversations as we can with our with people.
And you said you have 50 employees.
We have about 50 employees.
So how do you train them? Like, how do you pass on that culture to your? This is a pretty big company. I mean.
Yeah, we have an interesting culture. There's a lot of people that are surprised to hear that we have over 50 employees here in our space. We're all here on site. Everything's made in the United States. We don't offshore to China or anything. It's all here, and one of the things that's interesting is that when you have a company that big, trying to instill a culture of can-do attitudes and things, there's several things that we've done to address that. First of all, when a dentist sends us work, they're generally assigned to a ceramic team. So they're generally only going to deal with myself, J.D. Henderson, who runs the lab with me, and their ceramist, and maybe a few administrative personnel along the way. So it has a very small field. There's not a lot of fingers in the pot. And when that happens, our ceramic team leaders take a lot of ownership in protecting and maintaining and nurturing that relationship. One great thing about our culture that's fairly unusual is that we have 23 owners of our business. A number of years ago, our principal owner, Richard Willis, sold a large chunk of the business to the employees. It wasn't done as kind of an ESOP program or a profit sharing. He sold. We had the business valued, and 21 other owners bought into the business. We all mortgaged our homes. We all took out loans against our homes and our equity, and did everything we possibly could and scraped together to buy as much as we could. It was a huge sacrifice.
And those employees are like technicians and things. Right?
Yeah, they're technicians. They're mostly our team leaders and key personnel that work here. And what that has created is a huge, it shifts a huge burden of ownership to everyone rather than just the owners of the business. The people who work here care very much because they've got big time skin in the game. They've got mortgage loans and different things that are associated with that ownership, and they treat this different than just a job.
Yeah.
And they care very much. They want to protect and save every customer and client and do everything we can to maintain those relationships. And so it's been a huge thing for us to have that as part of our culture. It's great when you say, wow, we're getting busy, and the decision becomes, well, do we hire another person at $60,000 a year, or do we can everybody that's here just absorb a little more work and we can put that $60,000 to the bottom line? And when you can make decisions as a group like that, it makes you more efficient, leaner, and ultimately more profitable, but yet also offers another level. It allows employees to go to another level, another place in offering service and providing what they do beyond just as an employee. And it's been something that's been really effective for us.
And I mean, you work with a lot of dentists all day. If you were giving advice to a doctor, any pearls of wisdom you would impart to a Crown Council team? Anything, make them better, how to better work with you. Anything.
I would say treat your lab partner as an equal. Give them what they need. Find out what the lab wants for protocols on cases. You'll have your internal things that you've always done for years in your practice, but a laboratory gets to deal with hundreds of practices, and we get to see the best practices and techniques from all over the country, from Alaska and Hawaii to Florida and Bermuda and everywhere where our doctors are, from coast to coast in 5 time zones. And we get to see all sorts of different things. And we know what's new, we know what's different, and we know what works best. And seek your lab's advice, seek their counsel in what you can do better, because the lab is a rich resource. Not just us, but most any lab. There's a lot of dental practices that work as an island. They don't see much else outside of their own little world, and we see all of it. And there's a lot of things that seek our advice, listen to our advice, and look to develop that relationship, because we are probably the most important relationship a dentist can have.